the gentleman there, Adam, if you could go to him, please, when we keep up.
This is directed to Ms. Sackman. Ms. Sackman, how on earth can anybody have confidence in your party leader on the economy, given that under the last government, indeed his record with Ed Balls when he worked in the Treasury, amongst others, they bankrupt this country. So how on earth can we have confidence in him?
The reason that we have such a large deficit, and it's a deficit that persists, and the reason that we have such a large national debt is because of a global banking crisis. And the clue is in the title, a global banking crisis caused by the banks. In 2007, directly before that banking crisis affected our economy, as a percentage of GDP, our national debt and our national deficit was actually lower than we inherited in 1997. Just so to suggest that the deficit and the debt was caused by necessary investment in schools and hospitals is simply a false analysis. The crisis and the recession was caused by the banks.
It is absolutely true that Labour bankrupted the economy. Of course there was a banking crisis, but why? It's because Gordon Brown took away all the regulations and allowed the banks to do what banks would do if you take away all their regulations. Just like the chemical industry or the oil industry, if you took away all their regulations, what do you think they would do to the environment? That's why we have regulations. It was Labour who bankrupted us. It was Gordon Brown who took away the regulations. Everybody knows this. They even left a note saying there's no money left. That tells you everything you need to know about Labour and the economic situation.
It's very easy to say it's all the bankers' fault. Clearly the banks had a part to play. But the fault is the Labour government have not yet apologised for spending money they didn't have. They didn't just spend my money or your money, they spent your children's money and your grandchildren's money. They spent not just the bank, they didn't apologise.
I think it's very easy to score points on this, but as people have been saying, it was an international crisis. It was the banks that been worried about. Maybe there was deregulation, but they haven't been regulated enough again, so it could happen again. There is still this danger. And I don't go for this argument of why was money spent investing in the country. The way to bring an economy out of a recession is to invest. It's not like your money at home where I don't have much money this week, I'll not spend much. That causes a downward spiral. You have to invest. You put a minimum wage in the hands of the poor if they have to spend it into our economy. That's one of the first ways to get a country out of a recession. You have to invest in order to have a recovery, and immigration has also helped our recovery, as is known. The UCL, if you look it up, they've paid far more in tax than taking benefits.
I'm afraid I don't think Sarah can simply blame it on the, quote, global banking crisis as she does, for two reasons, one of which has already been referred to. First is the way in which the Labour government under Gordon Brown deregulated the banks, and the second is the way in which the Labour government stoked up the housing market and stoked up credit, creating the bubble which inevitably was then going to burst.
That gets us well, so we're going to ask you to use it as an answer to another question.
Fine.